Hi there guys, just time for a daily video. So today I want to talk to you about progress. So a lot of people get confused with progress, and as you probably noticed, the title is What is Real Progress? So let's just open a conversation about that, and as always I'd love you to add your comments below and let me know if you found this video helpful or if you'd like more on a different topic that we've covered. I've got well over 100 videos on this channel now, so do feel free to subscribe and let me know what you want, because that's why it's here. So yeah, what is real progression? So a lot of people get progression confused with academia, so having certificates and things like that, and let me tell you honestly, I have a lot of certificates. Okay, so I was quite lucky. I went to quite a few different schools in the end, and not for odd reasons, but just because my parents moved, and the school structure was different to where I moved to, so they did it in different tiers. So yeah, I do have a lot of certificates from things like GCSEs and A-levels and things like that. Let me tell you something, you might be one of those people who doesn't have that, and sometimes that can feel like there's nothing to mark any kind of progress. But let me tell you this, honestly, and this is just from personal experience, it's not about certificates, it's about what you do with them. So for me, being the age I am, I'm heading to kind of towards 30 now, in my kind of late 20s, past 25, and I really have felt like I have nothing much to show for after school. I was quite lucky. I did have good teachers and good education, so my grades were quite high in many areas, because I just enjoyed learning, and I was lucky to have good teachers, and good teachers obviously do make the whole difference. They really do, not just because of the subject but because of their personality as well. And so yeah, we end up with all these certificates and rewards, and that's fine. But what I found was, as soon as that structure disappeared, I no longer could, or really had the structure in place, I think, to maybe get those awards, or have that level of achievement. So I think when we say progress, when you look back on your life, you have to think about things that you have learned. Now, at the minute, my life is a bit of a mess, I'm not going to lie. So what happened to me was, I moved to live with a close family member a few years back, and we seem to have progressed. So at the moment, we're quite lucky. We're still in accommodation that we pay for together, and managed to stay together in that regard. And I was quite lucky. I got a job as a cleaner in a lovely outside area, which I did enjoy, which I missed terribly. And then I wanted to progress. I just wanted to learn. As I say, I've always enjoyed learning, and I don't do very well with being hemmed in, especially being in an environment where, you know, I'm a very family person. It was very difficult for me to move away from my parents at the time. Had the circumstances been different to what they were, I would have stayed. So that was very difficult. So I moved to an area where I didn't know anyone or anything. Landed a job with a really great bunch of people, and they kind of get personal development, and I in my department didn't, and I just find that so frustrating, because I have no less potential than them. Given the right circumstances, given the right environment, given the right encouragement and reason, I know that there is no level to the things that I can do, and that might sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet. It's not. It's just that's a fact that I believe about humans. there are a lot of people out here who have, done incredible things, just astounding, and it just proves that it's not circumstances, it's decisions. So anyway, I thought quite well. I did ask for progression, and about 18 months I realised that I really wasn't going to get the help I needed. I was very disappointed, because being in a large structure, especially charity organisation, I thought that maybe I would be developed, because if you want to give more and then you're held back, that's it. It was really disappointing, and I kind of was over familiar with my routine. I knew exactly what I was doing, to the point that it was becoming very slightly not restrictive, but I was ready to do something a bit more, and I had to make that choice to leave. And I did make that choice to leave, and I started an eBay business which fell basically flat on its face, because unless you do it en masse, and I mean by en masse I mean en masse, eBay's not very predictable, so it's hard to get a living wage that's stable enough to pay bills that are very, very constant. You've got a fluctuating income and you've got bills that are constant. It doesn't quite match up, and I very quickly found myself panicking. Then got a job in a restaurant which couldn't organise itself for love nor money. Sorry, I hate to say negative things on videos, but they couldn't, to the extent that, for example, there was a Maybank holiday and I rang at 5 o'clock on the Sunday before and they still couldn't tell me when I was working. So I, thank God, have left that as well. And I tried with a few other businesses as well before then, and they failed, and because I just got to a point where I was starting to invest money and I panicked a lot, so then I was job searching, and that was a nightmare itself. For those of you who have ever been job searching, what a emotional roller coaster that is. Not normally a positive one. And thank God I landed a job, and hopefully I will have to do a bit of personal growing to be able to do this job, because it's caring for people, and my relationships and my ability to create relationships have been somewhat severely damaged by certain events that have happened to me in the past, but not too much about them at the moment. So when you look back on that story, basically it seems quite negative. So I left my job and things just went basically downhill. I also got stung from someone who I thought was a close friend, who basically owes me now quite a lot of money, and didn't act with the integrity I would hope they would have acted with at the time. And I just think that, when I look back on that, I feel bad because things didn't go the way I wanted, the way I hoped. I don't know a lot about myself, who I am and what I'm not, mostly what I'm not, which was somewhat disappointing because I hoped for myself I would have been so much more. So I was looking back on this, and as I say, I was feeling pretty negative, and it's taken a lot of my confidence and my belief in myself and my ability to trust myself away, because I feel like I'm not capable of making certain decisions. But when I look back, really, I think if I hadn't have started my own business when I was getting stuck in my job, that offered me that personal growth and personal development, which I've now shut down. My eBay business was there, but there was already another business in place, and I was hoping my eBay business would give me potential for more income and also be less exhausting, so I'd have more time and money and energy to focus on my long-term plan and long-term business. And And if you're thinking, well, what business did you start when you were still a cleaner? What happened there? I was with a company called SFM. It's called Six Figure Mentors. It's by two guys, Stuart Ross and Jay Kubzak, and they are. Jay is Canadian, Stuart is English, and basically they're two guys who were looking for really just something more out of life. Jay is from a farming background, and he says he remembers watching his dad one day on his hands and knees basically praying for rain, and he just knew with the unpredictability of farming that he couldn't live his life that way. Stuart started his first business and it failed absolutely miserably, and he went back to his job, which is the story for so many entrepreneurs. And I just think that looking back on my story, do you know what, if I hadn't have started that business, even though at the minute I feel I've lost out financially on that, I wouldn't be taking this new job, I wouldn't have left my old job, I wouldn't have taken a chance on myself. I would still be hemmed in by my life thinking, oh my god, I've now got this, house to pay for, and I'm away from my family, and how am I going to ever get back to them, and what am I going to do, and not have any social life, because I used to come home and just literally just sit there because I had literally nowhere to go and no one to talk to. And what happens in that instance is your world shrinks. I have lost so much creativity, so much willpower, so much kind of independence to motivate myself. And with my parent then dying, it made it so much worse. That really took things out of me. So life was very small, and I want to just say that if it wasn't for Six Figure Mentors, if it wasn't for starting my own business, you know what, the personal growth would not have been there. The minute I'm not able to continue with that, but hey, maybe one day when my finances are better and I have more self-belief and more of a direction of where I want to go, things will be better and I can carry on with that. But I would not be looking at this new job or have made any of those risks or really chances on myself had it not been for that. So there is growth in that story. It's not the growth I expected, and it's not the progress I expected, but I know that it's going to stand me instead for a better future. So I guess really in a nutshell, if you just want one thing to take away from that, my message really is, when things are going wrong, and they will go wrong, because nobody gets away with a problem-free life, you do have to go through turbulence, and when you start to get to the end of that turbulence, as hopefully I am, and a new chapter begins, you'll look back and say, that didn't work out, or back to, like in my case, maybe you'll say many things didn't work out, but I know that I gained so much knowledge about who I am as a person and what I really want as opposed to what I think I should want. So there is progress even through the bad times, and sometimes the bad times are what make us. Les Brown, the motivational speaker, he has a wonderful saying, and I'll leave you with it as the last message on this video. So it is that in the good times you put it in your pocket, and in the lean times you put it in your heart. In the lean times, that's when you discover who you are. So that's all from me. As I say, do feel free to comment below. Let me know if you like these videos or not. If they're too long, too short, whatever. And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye now.